Fixed yet?
We're live.
Oh, hi. Hey, everybody. CamiBaker.com here. We are fabulous, fierce, and on fire. And it's Friday, and we got friends, and we are featuring Elena Rahrig of ElenaTransform.com. She is actually sharing with us today not only about how we as adults and entrepreneurs and business people can transform. She's talking to us about how we can help our children to do the same thing. And when I heard that she was doing this, putting this out into the universe, I said, oh my dear God, if I had only had this, I would probably be president by now. Like, I would be president. I was 8 years old and I saw a need in the marketplace. Kids had money in their pocket and they wanted gum. So I brought them gum and I made money, and I started loan sharking to my brother. So I had a natural tendency for entrepreneurship, but there was nobody around me. Nobody that helped to nurture me and tell me that that was a great thing. I was well into my 20s and 30s before I understood getting mentors and learning how to get past the learning curve and grab a hold of somebody who'd already done what I wanted to do. So thank you, Lord, for people like Elena who are going to help our children to step into their greatness, to own their power, to not go out and get a good education with a good job that's going to take care of us till we die. That don't happen. It don't work. So, Elena, please share with us about your program and why you're so inspired to make this happen.
Awesome. Well, thanks for that introduction, Cami. So first off, ElenaTransform.com is fading out, and it's now TransformMastermind.com because it's no longer about me. I have this huge team of people, and it's growing in 4 countries now. So we are making it more general than just about me. Yay. Super excited for the growth. But let me first share with you a little bit of background about me, because one, everyone tells me I look like I'm 12. So anybody watching this must think, what does this young chick have to offer us intelligence-wise? Well, first off, I'm 35 years old, a mother of 4, a wife to 1, and a pet owner of 3. And sometimes I want to flip those numbers. No, just joking. But when I was 12 years old, first off, both of my parents were entrepreneurs. So when I was 12 years old, they started training me for entrepreneurship. And it started, my dad started paying me to read books on business, life, and spirituality. And I had to write reports on them. He gave me a pen and a highlighter. So I had to highlight what I was reading, whatever stuck out that I liked. And I had to write in the margins with my pen if I had questions or wanted to write something. And plus, I was keeping a binder full of all my notes that I had to give him. But each book would go from anywhere from $20 to $50. And this was back in the 90s. So, that was good money for a 12-year-old. And about a year later, he stopped paying me because it became a way of life. That moment I messed up and said, Dad, I need another book. Oh, well, I don't have to pay you anymore. And I was like, the ignorance of a 13-year-old by now, So, but then he owned a large corporation and he took me to work with him in my little plaid dress. I remember it very well. And he put me in his office with his secretaries. And his head secretary, her name was Monica. She's an older gal. And back then there wasn't all the fancy computers and cell phones and stuff. So we were filing papers and writing out receipts and all that fun stuff. But it was just sink or swim. It was, Monica helped me. I remember at 12, 13 years old, she said, Elena, answer the phone. And I was like, huh? Like, we don't have cell phones, we're not on the phone all the time. So, but I did. And that's how I was raised. Like, I don't care if you're scared. I don't care if you don't know how. You actually have to do it. And that's how you learn. And so, of course, I'm this hands-on learner. Well, it went on throughout my teens, just being trained for entrepreneurship. In fact, I even dropped out of high school because that wasn't as important. If I can't help my 3rd graders now with their homework, we obviously don't need all of that, So, and my parents understood that, they never checked my homework. I always had good grades because I cared, but it wasn't an important factor like it is in so many homes. My friends are getting grounded for bad grades or for whatever. And my parents are like, whatever, here's entrepreneurship, be an entrepreneur. So in my early 20s, when I turned 18, I started in network marketing because that's where my parents were by the time I turned 18. My parents were number 1 in the company. By the time I'm in my mid-20s, I was number 1 in the company, bouncing back and forth, racing my parents. And I turned 30 and said, you know what? I know so much about business. I know how to build empires, but why am I building somebody else's empire? Because that's what network marketing is. It's somebody else at the top who's making all the money. And I want to be at the top and I want to talk about what I want to talk about. You know, being number one in the company, they start flying you all over the country and I'm speaking at conferences but I'm selling a product. I'm selling this opportunity where I was like, I want to pick my own topic. I want to speak, but it's going to be on my terms and my company. So when I turned 30, I decided to walk away from a number one position in a company, pissed a lot of people off, obviously, because I sponsored over 80 people and said, well, bye, I'm leaving now, but it's what I had to do. Well, then I built this two companies, Otter Publishing New York and Transform Mastermind Group, and they're just growing like wildfire. Like I said, we're in 4 countries. It's going great. And I stopped to think, you know what? There are so many kids out there who, probably all of the kids out there did not have what I was blessed to have, did not have parents training them for entrepreneurship. And so we are starting an online college for ages 8 to 18 for how to be an entrepreneur and life stuff. They don't teach you personal development in school. They don't teach you how to change a car tire or how to, credit the dangers of credit cards. They don't teach you about life. So we're going to be teaching about life and being an entrepreneur.
Well, there's so much that you said there. I want to ask you how to inspire a child to be an entrepreneur, but let me just say we have a lot of the same background with the network marketing and with just, growing up as an entrepreneur. And I just want to share with our viewers that I spent a week with Elena's family about 6 weeks ago. I was there for a whole week. And I didn't really even know, even as a member of her group with Transform Mastermind, didn't really know exactly what all she does because she does so much for the group. And I have to tell you, I was almost like in Anthony Robbins, I'm Not Your Guru, where they've got the camera and they're following Anthony Robbins around. Like I was following Elena around, like I'm in the car with her and I'm going with her to her dad's house to do this thing that they do about network marketing. And then I'm watching her go to her office. And I got to tell you, she provides so much value to this group, whether it's the smaller level that you're in or all the way up to the big level. She provides so much value about entrepreneurship and about all different aspects of business. And her children, by their own right, I know your son has started a YouTube channel, and so they are stepping into their entrepreneurship. Let me ask you something. So I have a daughter. She'll be 19 this February. And when she was younger, I tried so hard to encourage her entrepreneurialism, and it's so much entitlement going on. So much just no motivation, not wanting to get a job. I would give her ideas and she just wouldn't do it. And I'm embarrassed to tell you, but I would say, oh my God, how did you come out of me? How did that even happen? Like, does it skip a generation? How can you get a child to be inspired? Because even now, a 4 hours a day work job is all she can barely muster. Is there a way that we can encourage them? And I tried the books too. I tried to get her to read the books, but I'm telling you, not only was she not motivated by the money, but she wasn't motivated by being punished. She wasn't motivated by taking things away from her. Like I was just at a dead end. And I just felt like, you know what, I'm just hitting a brick wall. I'd rather just keep a relationship than to kill our relationship, trying to force her to want to learn. What do you do with a child that you just know has got so much potential? You're an entrepreneur, you're a business owner. You're like, please don't waste your time making the man rich. You can make yourself rich, or at least be happy doing your own thing. How do you do that, Elena?
Oh gosh, loaded question. Big answer. So first of all, I'm the parent, they're the child. They don't get to play on their phones. They don't get to watch TV. They don't get to do anything until they read a chapter in their book. I do not pay my children. My dad was super nice to do that. I guess my parents, but my dad was the one, handing me the money. But I don't pay them. I'm the parent, you're the child. This is the way it's going to be. I have one daughter who's adamant that she wants to work a 9 to 5. She wants to go and be a vet or do hair. She has these other things. She's 14 years old. And I tell her, I said, that's fine. I want you to be whatever you want to be when you grow up, But the reason you want to be that is because that's all you know, because you've been too exposed to the world and to the school and what they're training you and what your friends want to do. I said, so you're going to still take my classes, my courses, do what mommy wants you to do. And by the time you're 18, then you can make a wise, intelligent decision because you understand both worlds. Also, if you turn 18 and you say, I want to go to college and I want to do a 9 to 5, then you can go do that. And when you're in 2 to 5 years deep and you're burned out, you have something to fall back on and can then step into entrepreneurship. And yeah, we're going to waste a lot of money on college. I did the same thing. You know, as much as my parents trained me for entrepreneurship, I still wanted to taste the college life. Guess what? I am still paying on student loans. I only ever worked in the field for 9 months and I was tired of it. I was a corrections officer for 9 months and said, yeah, I think I'll go back and be an entrepreneur. And so I had that to fall back on. So that's what I'm doing for my kids. You know, it's, you don't get anything. No, I'm not going to take you to the mall. No, you can't go to your friend's house. You can hate me. I'm not your friend. I'm your mother. I know what's best. You don't understand yet. You're going to do it my way because I love you and because I want you to have options. And so that's what I'm giving them. But also, you know, we train the brain. No matter what it is. If somebody told me to sit down and learn some website coding, at first I would be like, oh my gosh, this is terrible. But once my brain starts to learn it and know it, we get in the groove and then we like it. I can train. I forget who said it. It was a really great book. One of them that my dad paid me to read over the years or had me read. But he said, I can take, it wasn't that. It was John B. Watson, who studied and figured out conditioning. He said, I can take any child you give me, and if I want them to grow up to be a murderer, I can train them to be that. If I want them to be a doctor, I will create this child into a doctor, because he understands conditioning, and we can condition our children to be whatever it is we truly want them to be over years and years of instilling things. It's why so many people believe in the 9 to 5, because they have been conditioned from the first thing you ask your kid is, what do you want to be when you grow up? Do you want to be a doctor or a lawyer or a teacher? Do you want to do hair? Well, guess what? They're, from the time they can talk, we're asking them that. We train them different. We say, hey, as an entrepreneur, here's like entrepreneurial different companies you could own or you could start. What kind of company would you own if you could own any? Just change the wording of the questions from the time they're young. My 14-year-old, I made the same mistake as you, Cami, because I would have started her at 12 and I tried to start her at 12 and I couldn't take the fight. So I quit. So now she's 14 and we're just getting started. She's homeschooled this year and she has some of my curriculum as her curriculum along with the homeschooling. So I did the same thing. Totally get it. Like, she's just not like me or whatever. But I had to put my foot down and say, you know what? I love you too much. I want to give you options. I don't want her coming to me at 25 going, okay, I really hate the 9 to 5, Mom. Now can you help me? My gosh, we're starting from scratch. I want her to have that. Let me just say for anybody that's watching that's really hell bent on college for your kids, look, the experience and the education is great. And that's all well and good. But how did we all get sold out on spending tens or, God forbid, hundreds of thousands of dollars to get a career and then get out and find out you're not even going to work in that career anyway? I mean, I know people that work in the bar industry. I've met people that work at Walmart. I've talked to cashiers that say they have a degree in engineering and they couldn't get a job. And so they're working at Walmart. Nothing wrong with all those jobs. We need all the different kinds of people in the world. But the thing is, if we've been sold out on that, here's another spin on it. Spend 10% of what you would have spent on a university education on self-education. Because when we spend money on self-education, now that just multiplies tenfold. I want to talk a little bit about your membership, because from what I understand, the membership that once was for me, for that person, for that business owner, et cetera, now is opened up to the whole family. And guys, you want to invest in your children's education through coaches and mentors who've already been there and done that. I love the shift of energy on the world, on the planet now, where people are starting to understand, wow, why would I give $50,000 to that community college to teach me how to have a job that will pay me $25,000 if I'm even lucky to get that job,
when I can actually invest a few hundred or a few $1,000s with a mentor who's done something else, and I'm going to make money while I'm learning. I learn while I earn, and I can have my own thing and do my own thing. Talk a little bit about the membership and who all is involved in that.
Absolutely. So right now we have over 100 members. We're in 4 different countries, and you're going to laugh when I tell you the price of the membership. I should make you wait just so you don't laugh too soon. But in the group, it is where I spend all week teaching. We have 10 people on our directors team. They teach throughout the week also. We hold so many different classes that you get to pick and choose what you want to come to. So there's classes almost every evening. Everything's done video conferencing. We send things out through email for even more learning and to keep track of the schedule and whatever you want to do. So, each class, we may not have 100 people on there, but people can say, this fits into my schedule, or this is the topic. So like right now on Tuesday nights, we're teaching network marketing because we're fantastic at it, even though we don't do it anymore. But we have some network marketers in the group. So, we cater to the different types of entrepreneurs, or some of them even do work a 9 to 5. So we hold classes to cater to their needs. So every member sends questions in all week long, and we gather those questions and what they need help with. And so that's how we form what we're offering. We don't just offer things we think they need. We are starting in February an online workout every day for 15 minutes where it's like, hey, get out of your office seat, hop over here on Zoom. We have some workout instructors in the group, and they run us through it for 15 minutes. Now, we did say no sweating because we don't want people changing clothes and everything else. So like I would work out in what I'm wearing right now, just get people out of that office seat for a little bit. So literally we really focus on all the needs. Now, it's always been $35 a month to be in this group. Isn't that laughable? That really
well, that's why when I saw all the guys, I was following her around like the camera crew, and I'm like, I can't believe all the things that you're doing for this ridiculously low amount of money.
It is very low. And we had a conversation about that. And a lot of people like you asked me, why would you do all this for $35? Well, I'm not doing it for $35. It's 35 times 100 people. And as this grows, think about this, 1,000 people in the group, $35 a month, that's $35,000. So it's waiting on that bigger money. And of course, I have another company that is financially stabilizes us and makes us live very nicely while we're growing this one. But it's $35 a month, and it's always just been for the husband and the wife. It's if you join, your spouse gets to come for free. And the reason that I do that is because most people who want their spouse to join, they're not going to pay the $35. They're just going to say, hey, log into my account and do it. And I want to keep people honest. And so the best way to keep them honest is just offer it as a couple, right? Then we have no fussing and nobody's doing anything they shouldn't be doing. So when we had the idea of, I lost my mind. Where have I been? Why am I not mentoring the youth? That is why I am who I am today. That's the essence of everything. Without that, I would not be as far along as I am at 35 years old. So I said, we need to get the youth involved in this. I need to do for the youth what my parents did for me. So we created an online university. The actual website where kids will actually go to school inside the website is being built. So right now we're doing everything video conference. We're really mimicking the adult group for the kids. Okay, so it's all the kids in this group. But now it's $35 as a family membership. So $35 a month, and the whole family gets to come. This one guy has 10 kids. Well, bring them all. It's $35. But here's what we're doing. Because
if he has 10 kids, he ain't got $35.
I know. You know what, though? He's a very strong entrepreneur. So he does have that. But yeah, you would think, right? But so it's literally, it doesn't matter. We're not doing a head count. It's per family. And then we even have some older ladies in the group where they have their grandkids in. So the parents don't really want to be involved. So we also allow it to be a grandchild, or if you don't have kids, then your niece or nephew. Now, if you have kids, you can't bring the whole damn fam. You know what I mean? But if say that I have no kids, but my brother does, then we would allow them to become their kids. Make sense?
Yeah, right.
Okay, so it's $35 a month for a family. Now, because how elaborate this is going to get and how quickly, we are only doing that price for the first 100 kids. So once we reach 100 kids, which we're getting pretty close, so we don't want to wait too long, but they're going to be locked in for lifetime at that price. Now, once the actual university comes up and they can log in and take classes, and we already have professors that we've hired on to come in and teach inside the website and do all of that. Once all that's in place, which could be 6 months or so from now, or we reach 100 members that are children, not adults, because we already passed that, but children, we are going to make it $35 per kid instead of family. So like right now is the time to get in because you're in the trial period. You know, you're in test mode with us. So we're going to give you one heck of a deal. So then it will go to $35 a kid, and then to log, and that's for the group stuff and the weekly stuff. But once they log into the university and can take all those courses, then that's going to be a yearly fee to have access to that. So people can join just the group, or they can join just the online college, or both.
Well, let me just say, I mean, even at $35 a kid, how much money do people spend on sports, you know, on going to the movies? I mean, sports alone, it's so fun. It was so funny to me in network marketing. People would say, oh, only 1 out of 1 million makes any money. Yeah, well, how many entrepreneurs, or excuse me, how many employees do you know that are ever going to make $1 million and get rich? And people will spend thousands of dollars a year taking little Billy to football games and football uniforms and football this. Basketball, you really think your kid's going to be the next Michael Jordan? Here, in this type of an atmosphere, they do have a chance to be the Michael Jordan of whatever business industry they want to be in, whatever empire they want to be in, any business. I mean, you take a kid that's got a lawnmower that wants to go out and make some money every week on the weekends, and you give him the right tools, he's going to have his own landscaping business before you know it. I just think what you're doing is phenomenal. And let me stop for a commercial break for you and for me. Guys, Elena also did my book, my business cards, or my bookmark, and my speaker packet. When I am at an event and I have all of that laid out, it is all connected, it is all consistent, it is branded. I actually wear the same clothes, basically different shirts and different jackets, but the same type of thing whenever I go anywhere. I am so branded, and it's because of Elena and what she did for me. So I just really want to give you a shout out for that. And I want to mention this, and I know this is a little bit of a side note, but I brought it up, and I was at a networking event this morning, and I walked in with my books because I'm so excited because she just did the second edition for me. So I walk in with 3 books in my hand, and I didn't know really what I was going to do with them. I just got them, you know, I put them on the table. And of course it looks good. It's great credibility. I stand up, say, hey. And so people came at break time, everybody came over to buy my book. And somebody asked me last night, they said, so how's your book going? And I said, it is going phenomenal. And it's not about trying to make $20 a book. It's about the fact that when you have a book, it is the most credible, sharpest way to prove your expertise. Even if you have it ghostwritten, people don't know that. When people buy my book, they may not ever even get past the first page, but just because I'm on it shows credibility. So I just want to give you homage for what a great job you did editing it, for how you created the cover, for how you helped me to look good in the marketplace so that I can help others look good in the marketplace. And these are little things that will be in this course for these kids. I mean, think about our kids and how creative they are. They're always on the computer. Think about all the graphics that they could be learning. They could be publishers. They could do graphics for Coca-Cola or whoever. Like, this is all the kind of things that she knows how to do, that you know how to do, that your kids are going to be learning about. So I just want to give you all those props as well. What are some other things besides publishing and working out and mindset?
Well, I am so super excited you brought that up. So thank you for that. So of course, all the kids are going to have access to our publishing company, because that's the other company I own, is Outer Publishing New York. And so within a couple of the professors that we have, their curriculum, they're going to do a compilation book, also known as an anthology. I'm not sure, our viewers, which one they know it as, but every kid in the class is going to write one chapter and we're going to publish the book. And we are doing, yes, so they will become an author through taking the courses. Now they have to, it depends on when they fall in line with that professor, but one of their classes, that's what they'll be doing. And another one, they're doing a video book. So here, each kid gets to record a video, and then we're going to put all the videos inside a book, and it's just going to be a video book. So it's going to be awesome. It's going to be printed. So if you're familiar with QR codes, we attach the video to a QR code, put those in the book. So they're going to be doing that project as well. So that's great for that. You brought up the whole publishing thing, because our kids will become a published author. So imagine that, you know, being so young. And we've already I traveled all the way over to Illinois to an elementary over there. And we did a whole book project with the entire 5th grade class. The entire 5th grade class wrote a chapter, and they have a book, and we published it, and they use it as a fundraiser now for their school events. So, and I spent a couple of days over there teaching them about books.
Parents, I want you to think about if you have a child that's really shy, or if you have a child that's really gregarious, either way, but having one that's shy, I am telling you, even before the book came out, when I said I am the author of the forthcoming book, Mingle to Millions, how it made me feel, how it made my shoulders go back a little bit more, my head a little bit higher, the way that people looked at, wow, that's awesome. Like, people look up to authors more than they do doctors anymore. Seriously, because it's just, and some people will say, well, anybody can publish a book and anybody can self-publish. Well, that's true. Anybody can, but they don't. And when they do, it's just, it makes the person who published the book feel better. It makes the people around them look at them so much differently. Your children being a published author at 10, 12, 14 years old for the rest of their lives, for the next 40, 50, 60 years, they can say, yeah, I published a book when I was 12. Didn't you?
It is. It's incredible working with the entire 5th grade class over there in Illinois. They were so excited. We did an assembly for them afterwards. I mean, they just felt big time. They all wanted my autograph, you know. So not only did they become a published author, they got to meet one. They thought that was really cool. And here's the thing, not everybody can write a book. You'd be surprised of the manuscripts that we receive. It's like, that's not a book. You need like 100 more pages. And they're like, oh, well, I don't know what to say. Right. You know, so a lot of people don't have enough up here to actually put on paper and teach anybody. They have enough to maybe tell their story, but to actually teach something, if you can teach all your knowledge, or even it's not even all your knowledge, that is like 10% of your knowledge in that book of what you know on your topic. And if you have that much that you can put in a book, my gosh, what more is in that brain of Cami's that we need to work with you and find out, you know? So it really does position you as an expert. And trust me, we turn away a lot of manuscripts because there's not enough content, or when we read it, they're repeating themselves so much that it's like, we have nothing to work with. You need to go study more.
I know when I sent over my original manuscript, when you said, wow, this is really good, like this is something people need to hear. And I'm so excited about this book. So it's not just a cookbook. It's not just a fiction book. It's something that even for you as a professional networker for 20 plus years, there was stuff in the book that you had never thought of, made you look at networking differently. So, you know, I was really blessed to have found the right editor, the right publisher, the right branding expert, all rolled into one when I decided to have you come on as that person for me. So I just really want to thank you for that. And you know, one of the groups that I do teach, I'm definitely more of an entrepreneur, business owner, company kind of a strategist and consultant. But I do like to get into the schools, the universities more specifically, because those kids that are coming out of college, back to the college thing, they learn all kinds of things that they need to know behind the screen, et cetera. But when it's time to go out and get a job, when it's time to go out and network, when it's time to go out and meet people and interact and bridge the humanity gap, they are struggling and suffering. They have a hard time even looking people in the eye a lot of the time. So I go out and I talk to them about that. Here's how you communicate. Here's how you conversate and collaborate so you can create the resources, relationships, and revenue. So, you know, as you're doing that group, when you get a big enough group of kids and you want to have me come on and talk to them about, hey, great, you're getting all this wonderful knowledge. Now that you're a graphic artist, now that you're a publisher, now that you know how to do this, that, and the other thing, let's talk about how you're going to go out and communicate with other people so that you build the resources and the relationships.
Let me just say, first off, I was just, when you were talking, I was like, which leads me to ask you, do you want to be a professor? I would love to have you on as a professor. We'll talk about that more behind the scenes and work all that out. But yes, would absolutely love it. And your book, seriously, as much as I know that's in this brain, and the people that, I mean, my dad had me reading Robert Kiyosaki as a young girl, you know, as many of those types of books that I have read over my life, which I have enough to fill a room, but we had a house fire and I lost all of them. Mm-hmm. So now I'm in the process of buying them when I find them. But as much as I know, I read your book, and when I got that manuscript, I was like, we have to publish this book. I've never heard it. I've never heard it. It's actually not content that I could go get in any book out of the library. Like, this is stuff that nobody's ever heard. And I even teach, like you said, I teach networking. You know, we're doing network marketing, but I teach networking also. So now when I teach networking, I'm always like, Cami Baker says, in Cami Baker's book, like, I'm not even teaching my own stuff. Like, I'm like, this is what's in Cami's. I'm using your book as like my guideline to teach my clients now. It's awesome. So love, love, love your book. People have got to get that. I did want to touch on, though, I don't know how much time we have. I wanted to touch on, you know, we talked about the $35 a month membership. Here's the part that I left out that's really going to light some people's fire. When they refer their friends, they get $10 every month that their friend remains a member. Wow. So they actually make money, because that's the thing. We're producing people who can make money.
Entrepreneurs.
So that is yes. And it's an empire. We want our kids, even the adults get that, you know, we want them to have an empire, and with empires comes residual income. So we literally give them the platform to begin the residual income through our company. Now, our end goal, every student that goes through our college, they are going to have to build a company. They are going to be a business owner by the time they turn 18. It's where we start, and we start them with the branding and putting it together. And it's just, you know, building blocks. We're building their company. So eventually we want them to have their own residual income in their own company. But to get them started, we give it to them through ours.
So let me get this straight. It's $35 a month. So they get $10 when they refer another person or family. So for people that they refer, they're actually starting to make money. Their membership is free. And on top of that, the people around them are getting the same knowledge. They're having the same conversations. They're talking business ownership, entrepreneurship, goal setting, mindset, et cetera, et cetera. Mm-hmm. So as a collective, the whole community, the whole town, thank God, the whole state, the whole country, the whole world is transformed, and they make money. And oh, girl.
But wait, there's more.
But wait, there's more.
I had to. Once they refer 10 people, they get bumped up to the $15 referral fee. So 10 people, now you're getting $15 off each person instead of 10.
Wow. And the beauty of it is, you know, when you talked about, well, how can you do that for just $35? It's the bigger picture. When I was with her that week, she talked about that. Well, now there's 100, and when there's 1,000, do the math. And what about if there's 10,000? You know, and so it's about seeing the bigger picture of things. It isn't about getting rich overnight. It's about having a plan. It's about executing the plan. And these are some of the things that you'll be teaching to the kids as well as the adults that are in the group. So I think we are coming to the end. I'm going to do about half an hour on these segments. I'm so thrilled that you were the first one for me to have in the year 2018. We did a couple of these about a year ago, but now that I am back like a heart attack, we are going to start doing Fabulous, Fierce, and on Fire Fridays with friends, featuring Cami's friends, depending on who is next. I don't know, but they will be fabulous. And I'm glad I started with Elena. Actually, I do know who it's going to be. But I'm not going to say the name, because these are going to repeat, and they're not always necessarily going to be in order. So gotcha. I will see you guys on the next Friday. Fabulous, Fierce, and on Fire. Elena, if I were to ask you how you are right now, what would you say?
Fabulous, fierce, and on fire. Did I do it right?
You gotta come up with your own tagline, girl. It's okay, though. You can steal mine from mine. Love you. I'm so glad for what you're doing with the kids. I wish I had it, but the best I can do right now is spread the word and let other people know. Don't let your kids feel like they are stuck with the 9 to 5. Don't let them feel like they have got to go put tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars into an education. They need an education. They need inspiration. They need to have the right playgrounds and playmates, but they can find it right here with Elena and her Transform Masterminds group. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me, Cami. Have a great day, everyone.
Bye.